Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're putting two highly anticipated and honestly radically different premium electric sedans head to head. If you're in the market for a high-end EV, or even if you're just fascinated by how different automakers are tackling the future of driving, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're critically comparing the Mazda EZ-6 with the Lynk Co Z10. We're going to break down the numbers, the overarching design philosophies, and what this actually means for you on the road, so we can figure out exactly what these cars bring to the table.
To really wrap our heads around these cars, we have to look at the very DNA they're built on. Because these two vehicles, they represent entirely different design philosophies. On one side, we've got the Mazda EZ-6. This car is heavily rooted in a comfort-first approach, leaning on that rich history of meticulous Japanese craftsmanship. It's all about elegance and, finding your zen. Right across from it, we have the Lynk Co Z10. This machine is practically screaming Scandinavian innovation. It embraces this highly futuristic, performance-driven ethos that's specifically designed to thrill. So it's elegance versus raw tech. Let's see how that actually translates to the pavement.
Section 1. Tale of the tape. The numbers that really matter.
Now, philosophy is great, but eventually rubber has to meet the road. Looking under the hood, or, under the floorboards in this case, what's really fascinating is how the battery sizes dictate almost everything else we're looking at. The Lynk Co Z10 is packing a massive 95 kilowatt-hour battery, compared to the Mazda's 68.8 kilowatt-hour pack. Because of that much larger power reserve, the Z10 pushes out slight but definitely noticeable advantages across the board. We're talking 200 kilowatts of engine power versus the Mazda's 190. It boasts 343 newton meters of torque compared to the Mazda's 320. And checking out the top speed, the Z10 tops out at a blistering 210 kilometers per hour, leaving the Mazda behind at a capped 170. It's a comprehensive, statistical edge for the Z10 in almost every category.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what that bigger battery buys you in the real world. We've got the Mazda sitting at a very respectable 600 kilometers of range, but the Z10, it pushes all the way to 702 kilometers. That 102-kilometer advantage is absolutely huge. If you're someone who regularly takes long road trips, or maybe you live in an area where charging infrastructure is still a bit sparse, the Z10 is the clear winner here. I mean, it literally goes the extra mile. Well, actually, scratch that. It goes the extra 60 miles, to be precise.
But range isn't the only place the Z10 flexes its muscles. Check out this acceleration gap. The Z10 rockets from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.8 seconds. The Mazda takes its time a bit more, coming in at 7.6 seconds. That's almost a full 2 seconds of difference. And in the automotive world, especially in the EV space where instant torque is the name of the game, 2 seconds is practically an eternity. This perfectly highlights the Z10's aggressive sporty performance right up against the Mazda's much more measured, relaxed pace.
27. I really want you to remember this number, because despite having a significantly larger battery capacity to fill up, the Lynk Co Z10 actually manages to edge out the Mazda in DC fast charging. Going from a 30 to 80% charge takes just 27 minutes in the Z10. The Mazda, even with its smaller battery, still takes 30 minutes. That is some seriously impressive engineering efficiency on the part of Lynk Co, keeping you at the charging station for less time while giving you way more range.
Section 2. The Mazda EZ-6. Refined comfort.
So the Z10 wins on paper, right? Well, not so fast. Spec sheets absolutely do not tell the whole story. Let's explore what it actually feels like to prioritize the daily driving experience over raw brute force numbers. Mazda's core identity here, the whole philosophy behind this car, isn't about winning a drag race from stoplight to stoplight. It's all about the comfort-first approach. Mazda is trying to create a balanced, elegant, and above all, stress-free environment for your everyday life. When you slide into this car after a long, chaotic day at work, it's meant to lower your heart rate, not raise it.
So what are the standout merits of the Mazda EZ-6? First off, just look at it.
It utilizes that sleek Japanese kodo design. It is visually refined, sophisticated, and arguably timeless. But it's not just a pretty face. The suspension and the acoustic insulation are specifically tuned to give you a remarkably smooth, quiet ride. It features balanced everyday handling that makes city driving completely effortless, and it wraps all of this up in an advanced suite of standard safety features. It really is a cocoon of calm.
But we have to be analytical here. Are there any drawbacks to the EZ-6? I want you to think about the inherent trade-offs of choosing a purely comfort-focused design philosophy. When you build a car specifically for smoothness and calm, what exactly are you leaving out?
Well, here are the demerits of the Mazda EZ-6. As we saw in the data earlier, that lower 600-kilometer range cap could definitely limit you if you're frequently taking long, cross-country road trips. That 7.6-second acceleration, while perfectly fine for merging onto a highway, it's definitely going to feel less sporty than its rivals. And perhaps most importantly for some of you, it only comes in rear-wheel drive. If you live somewhere with harsh winters or challenging terrains, the total lack of an all-wheel drive option could honestly be a deal-breaker.
Moving on to Section 3, the Lynk Co Z10, high-tech performance.
Now we're pivoting to a distinctly Scandinavian-inspired cutting-edge approach. If the Mazda is a calming living room, the Z10 is a fighter jet cockpit. This is a performance-driven fastback. It's futuristic, it's aggressive, and it is built specifically for drivers who crave maximum speed and want to be totally surrounded by the absolute latest, bleeding-edge technology.
And the merits of the Lynk Co Z10 are incredibly strong. You're getting that high-speed performance and that blistering 5.8-second acceleration. You're getting that massive 702-kilometer long-distance range. Inside, you're treated to a highly connected, smart digital cockpit that genuinely feels years ahead of the curve. And crucially, unlike the Mazda, it offers a flexible all-wheel drive option, giving you the grip and the confidence to handle basically any weather condition Mother Nature throws at you.
So it's crazy fast, it goes forever, and it has all-wheel drive. But does all this tech and power come with a catch? We need to critically examine the potential downsides of packing such a massive battery and highly complex systems into a single car. Because as we know, physics and economics, they always demand a toll.
And here is that toll, the demerits of the Z10. First off, it is heavy. Weighing in at around 1,850 kilograms, it is significantly heavier than the 1,730-kilogram Mazda. That extra weight means it's going to feel noticeably less nimble in tight city driving or when you're trying to squeeze into a parallel parking spot. Furthermore, that massive battery and complex drivetrain likely mean higher upfront costs and potentially higher maintenance down the line. Finally, all that futuristic tech, yeah, it comes with a steep learning curve. You'll definitely have to spend some time digging through menus just to figure out how the whole shebang works.
Section 4. The verdict. Which sedan actually fits you?
So the crucial point is, how do we synthesize all this information and apply it directly to your driveway? When we contrast the ideal environments for each car, the picture becomes incredibly clear. The Mazda EZ-6, with its refined handling, lighter weight, and quieter cabin, absolutely thrives in city limits and suburban driving. It is the ultimate daily commuter. On the flip side, the Lynk Co Z10, with its massive 702-kilometer range and optional all-wheel drive, is the ultimate tool for long road trips and adventure seekers who want to conquer the open highway.
Ultimately, it all comes down to what you value most when you sit behind the wheel. We confidently recommend the Mazda EZ-6 for drivers who prioritize timeless Japanese craftsmanship, elegance, and daily practicality. You just want a smooth, refined ride. But if you're a tech-savvy buyer who wants ultimate range, neck-snapping acceleration, and a truly futuristic digital experience, well, the Lynk Co Z10 is exactly what you're looking for. So I will leave you with this final thought as you evaluate your own driving priorities. When you envision your next premium EV, are you chasing the quiet, refined comfort of the EZ-6 or the thrilling, high-tech performance of the Z10? It's a tough choice for sure, but now you've got all the information you need to make it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.